Meditation completely changed my business around, and it may not be in the way that you actually think. As a matter of fact, Iman Gadzhi might have been wrong. And now before you go and attack me in the comments, hear me out, because I want to share with you my experience with meditating in the morning and how it has actually affected my productivity and my likelihood to get into flow state, the state of which work is enjoyable and effortless, essentially the state that we all crave to get into. And so what I want to talk about today is why meditation could be ruining your business, why it could be ruining your SMMA, why meditation in the morning might be the reason why you're not as productive as you may think you should be. And so let me ask you this, let's preface this question, okay? Have you ever worked and you've ever got a point to working where work feels effortless, work feels fun, work feels easy? As a matter of fact, this could be the equivalent of a runner's high if you're a runner, or the equivalent of when you're skiing down the mountain slopes and you're shredding the slopes, that equivalent of where work feels easy and effortless and fun and enjoyable, and almost like time passes like there's no other. Or maybe you've experienced this inside of your own agency. Maybe there's days where you're working and time just goes by quickly, yet there's other days where that may not be the case. And this is something that is called flow proneness, and it is our tendency to experience flow state, right? It is our tendency to experience this flow state that we all crave for every single day. It's why we have all these biohackers and these people doing these intricate, extensive morning routines to try and increase flow proneness, because morning routines are meant to heighten productivity. They're meant to increase flow proneness to essentially get us into that flow state. For example, cold showers boost dopamine by up to 250%. Meditation drives attention, boosts dopamine up and increases your flow proneness. Essentially, it gets you into flow state. It gets you more focused. It gets you working better. It heightens your productivity. Journaling clarifies goals, boosts dopamine yet again, another flow proneness trigger to essentially get you into flow state. And so here's where this story takes a bit of a turn. And it's that flow proneness, aka the thing that we try and get with our morning routine, right? The reason why we do meditation and all these other things, etc., is to get into a flow state. But flow proneness is actually at its highest naturally in the morning. And this is for two reasons. Number one, cognitive load is low. Think of it like RAM in your computer. The load on your brain is low. You've been sleeping the past 8, 9, 10 hours. Your cognitive load is low. There's nothing to think of. There's nothing to interrupt you because the day has just started. That's reason number one. Reason number two is your brain waves are closest to flow. They are either in theta or in delta, which are the brain waves that we get while we experience sleep. And so it's ironic because we crave to get into flow by doing these extensive morning routines, yet we go 1, 2, 3 hours without actually working. And then we see all these people outworking us and we look at them and we go, how can they possibly be better than this when their life is less optimized? Their life is less in order. They don't do the cold showers. They don't do the journaling. They don't do the meditation. They don't do the grounding. How are they beating me? I should be more productive. And it's simply because you're working against your own human biology. Your body naturally is highest, okay? The highest flow state you could possibly be in is right as you wake up. And so listen, this is where I'm going to tell a story of how I went from having these extensive, intricate, advanced morning routines where it would take me multiple hours to start working to now when I wake up within the first 10 seconds, I'm already at my desk working. Now, first, I'll tell you, it was weird. It was awkward. It was strange. It hurt my eyes looking up the computer right away. But over time, I started to get into this flow state at will almost instantly upon waking. And it allowed me to get multiple hours of deep work done before I even got my coffee. This is the whole other thing, but coffee suppresses adenosine, and adenosine, to my understanding, I'm not a biologist or a scientist, is the chemical inside of your body that makes you feel tired and groggy and slow. And so caffeine blocks adenosine, hence why when you have caffeine it makes you hyped up and a bunch of other things. Now, I'm not a caffeine chemist or whatever, but we all know that caffeine hypes us up, right? And it stops us from being lazy. Here's the problem is when you drink caffeine right as you wake up, and this is the case for me, and this is what science has showed, it actually blocks your adenosine, which adenosine you naturally have when you wake up. And so what would happen is I started to crash midday. Middle of the day, I would start to have this midday crash where I'd feel super exhausted and tired and almost like I needed another coffee. And this is because the adenosine that finally got released after the caffeine had depleted is now getting released from my body. And so only at that point was my body allowing it to release, which allowed me to have this midday crash. That's a whole separate can of worms. What I started doing is I started to instantly work, allow myself to get into flow right away as soon as I wake up, deep work for 1 to 3 hours, and then after I do my morning routine, after I drink my coffee, after all of my deep work is done in my flow state is when I do these morning routines. And as Iman Gadzhi likes to call it, the founder or the co-founder of Flow Research Collective, the inverse morning routine, which is where you do your morning routine after your flow state. And it is something that has completely changed my life around. And if you haven't already tried it, I would urge you to do the same. I mean, look at Alex Hormozi, look at Elon Musk, look at all these famous, huge entrepreneurs. What is the first thing they do when they work? I mean, wake up. They work. They don't. Look at Alex Hormozi. He doesn't have an intricate morning routine. He, for example, to my understanding, gets a cup of coffee and then sits down and work. He says if you can decrease the time it takes from waking up to working, you'll make more money. And at first I thought, well, fuck, no shit. But then I really did it, and it's wow. You'd be surprised at how much more productive you are if you can wake up and within the first 90 seconds get to work. I don't check my phone anymore. Phone is a distraction. There's multiple things. You can go look up Iman Gadzhi, RIANDORRIS on YouTube. He has amazing content, much better than I could ever put out. But one of the things that he chatted about is how in flow there's 4 stages to flow. Now, I don't know the 4 off the top of my head, but one of them is essentially like distractions, okay? And one of the biggest distractions in this day and age, in this world, is, you guessed it, our phones. And so one of the worst things you can do for your productivity is check your phone right as you wake up. It's one of the things that we almost all do, and it's a bad habit I had for a while, but I've stopped doing that. And my productivity has skyrocketed as a result of not checking my phone, as a result of not being influx with all of this fast, cheap, ugly dopamine. Instead, I get to the deep, boring, big work I got to do. I have my to-do list written out the night before, so when I sit at my desk and I'm half awake, I don't have to think about what I have to do. I just act, and it makes work so much easier, so much more enjoyable. And also, what happens is after a couple of hours, when you now start your morning routine, when you would have normally just started working, you've already done most of your work for the day. You already feel ahead of the game. You'll feel energized. You then have your coffee. You then do your morning routine, and then you're even more energized to attack the rest of the day. It's almost like having a whole extra work block. It's a hack. It's a life hack, which I recommend you all try. And that is why meditation in the morning is the thing that could be ruining your SMA, and it is what has changed my business around for the better forever. And so I urge you all to not hate on me, which most of you did on my last short where I said meditation sucks with no context. Fair enough. And try this out. And try it for a week. And let me know how it goes. Wake up and flow. Okay? Wake up and flow. Just wake up and go straight to work. Okay? So as Iman Gadzhi likes to call it, flow before phone. Flow before phone. Wake up and work. Wake up and work. Get into deep work. Get into deep work for 1 to 3 hours after that. Go have your coffee, go have your breakfast, go exercise, go do your morning routine, go have your cold shower. As a matter of fact, you'll actually realize that, oh my goodness, not only will you get so much work done in the morning, you then get a double whammy because you now get to experience the benefits of flow twice. Once when you wake up, and the second time when you do the flow proneness triggering activities that allow you to get into flow again later in the day. So it's almost a hack to life. Instead of getting into flow once in the day, which is later on the day, you get it twice. So this is my understanding. Listen, I'm not a scientist. I've only watched a few videos, read a few studies, and have tried it myself. It has worked for me, and I urge you all to try it yourself because it could be the very thing that might unlock the new state of productivity for you. I've tried every productivity hack in the game. You name it. I have a whole section in my Notion, a whole Notion tab called productivity, where I've tried every single little thing. You name it. I have tried the grounding. I've tried the cold showers. I've tried the coffee. I've tried the mushroom pills. I've tried the certain goal setting. I've tried the certain breathing techniques. I've tried every single productivity hack you could name in the game. None of them have been as good as just getting up and working. And so I urge you all to try this and just see how it works for you, because it changed my life around, and maybe it'll do the same for you. The worst thing that could happen is you try it and it doesn't work. It ain't gonna kill you. Alrighty? And so that is a video I want to make today to share with you my experience with stopping meditating. Now listen, I'm not stopping meditating entirely. It's totally fine to do it later on in the day. But in terms of doing it as a form of productivity, when your productivity or your flow proneness, your tendency to experience flow is the highest in the morning, it's ironic to have this flow proneness so high and then not utilize it by doing something else to try and get us into that high. Anyways, that is all I have for this video. Thank you all for sticking around for the last 10 minutes and 30 seconds. If you don't know who I am, my name is Stefan van de Vlasiker. I and Andreas Contreras, I butchered that, sorry buddy, are starting up a new business, or have started up a new business, and are scaling it from 0 to 7 figures and documenting the entire process on this YouTube channel. So if you want to follow along my journey of building a big business from 0 to big numbers, then this is the place to do it. We're still in the early stages, so if you're here, welcome. I hope you follow along, and hope that you learn some value. My goal with posting these videos is just to inspire you to become the best version of yourself and do something great with yourself, because I was once in, perhaps maybe not the best place, and I now think I'm in a decent place. And so I just want to inspire people to do the same, because I think that you have a lot more potential that you have not unlocked, and I think that everybody should be able to experience that in their life. And so that is my goal of posting these YouTube videos, is to inspire you. Anyways, that has been my rant, or my experience with stopping meditating, and it changed my life forever, and maybe it'll do the same for you. I'll see you on the next video. If you like this video, go watch my other content. I post more stories like this all the time. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.